When I first started listening to jazz in 1990 in high school, the first time I heard Bill Evans was on the radio on 88.9 in Milwaukee, and it was on a Miles Davis album. It wasn't Kinda Blue. It was the 58 Sessions. Same band, different set of tunes. Specifically, it was Bill's block chord solo on Green Dolphin Street that completely knocked me out. I had never heard that sound on the piano before. Fast forward to 1993, when I was in college and actually starting to learn how to play jazz. I heard his genre-defying trio albums, Portrait in Jazz and Explorations from the 1960s. These albums changed my musical life forever. It was Bill's version of Beautiful Love, the jazz standard from the album Explorations, that opened up a whole world to me as a young, inexperienced, and developing pianist. Today I'm going to dig in and find things we can practice and learn from Bill's brilliant melody statement of this great standard. Now let's check out Bill's version. There's so much we can learn just from these 32 bars. We can learn about melodic invention, rhythmic invention, kind of the funkiness between the two hands, rootless voicings, offbeat comping, triad pairs, block chords, drop two, harmonic movement. I call it finding the hidden chords and adding the hidden chords, and compositional development and arranging. What this first taught me when I first heard this, why it really just kind of like knocked me out so much, was first of all, I heard him play this treatment of this melody and I immediately said, oh, I can do that? You know, I'm a creative person, but sometimes with this music, there are rules and you start to wonder, can I break certain rules or whatever it is? Bill just kind of showed me that you can have creative expression over these melodies and over how we treat these melodies and these tunes. It also showed me that he has such a mastery of the original melody that he is able to do these things to the melody. So having melody mastery is so important. Learning lyrics to tunes. Learning the original melody and the original chords, so important. Not chords on the fake book, like the original sheet music. The other thing that this taught me was to have a really nice sounding version of a tune, you want to kind of mix and match all sorts of different concepts. So he's teaching me here about all these overall concepts, just like I mentioned. So part of the melody, he's playing rootless voicings in just a single note. In other sections, he's doing block chords. He's mix and matching between thick and more, non-thick textures. That's the scientific term. I just coined it. But he's really varying textures, and also he's keeping things all, nothing is staying the same, yet it all kind of mixes together. So you're not having bias towards one thing or another. You can really mix and match all of these concepts into one soup. And really, when you listen to the great players, they do that. The last thing I want to say is he's treating this melody, it's an arrangement. And this is something I think pianists and anybody who plays a harmonic instrument should try to foster as soon as possible. Come up with a way that you can play these tunes. You can use other recordings as a basis for how you play them. I'll be honest, when I play this tune, I reference this recording just because it's so classic. But so I have that in there. I have this framework in there of how I want to play the tune. It doesn't mean I don't have to I can't stray from it. But what it can tell me is like I have a set way that I can do this as a base, and it adds a real depth to what you're doing. What I'll do here is we're going to take it 4 bars at a time. Those seem to be good delineation points in the form. And we're just going to talk about what he's doing and things we can get from it. So let's check out this first 4 bars here. Here's what we got. First things first, we've got rootless voicings in the left hand. This is a very common voicing structure, and Bill was one of the first pianists that really did this, along with like Red Garland and Wynton Kelly, but especially Red Garland and Bill. So right here, you've got a thing you could practice over a minor 2-5-1. 3 flat 5 7 9. 7 flat 9 3 13. 3 5 7 9. Just right here, take this around the keys. Let's go to G minor and do that. F minor. Same exact voicing, I'm just taking it around. How about B flat minor? One more, G minor. Right there, you've got something. You could also do this in major. You could do E minor 9, natural 9, natural 13. Another. So you got this little rootless voicing structure that you could take around. Again, I'm using the recording to help me find stuff that I can practice. If Bill's playing it, I could play it, Hey, real quick before we get back to the video, I've got 2 free resources I'd love for you to check out. I have my jazz warm-ups and etudes packet. It's 4 etudes on tune-up, the blues, autumn leaves, and rhythm changes. It's a great way to just get deeper and develop more improvisational vocabulary, work on transposition. Etudes are great for that. The second one, I've got a free webinar called Play Jazz Piano Voicings with Confidence. It's just what it says. In the description below, there's links to both, and would love to see you in there. Something you could practice with rootless voicings, rather than just playing them static, grab a play along or something, iReal Pro, Band in the Box, whatever it may be, and practice these rootless voicings staccato and on the offbeats, anticipating all of the downbeats. I'll demonstrate. The melody. He immediately strays from the melody right away. That kind of knocked me out when I first heard it. I was like, wow. He just like abandoned the melody right away. But it totally works. So this tells me to spend time really working on just messing with the melody. I made a video a couple weeks back talking about this. I did a Stan Getz example. But it's this idea of spending a lot of time just getting really comfortable with the melody, comfortable with variations, using the melody as a basis for some improvisation. And he's obviously taking liberty with the melody here. Now, something else I want to add here that is important
So we have, we're in D minor, so we've got a minor, 2, 5, 1 to minor. On the regular lead sheet, a lot of times, it just goes to the 4 chord on bar 5. But you can set up the 4 chord with a secondary dominant. You can make the 1 minor into the 5 of the 4. And he does that here. And then, so that creates movement too. So this 1, you could practice that movement. 1 minor, 5 going to the 4. Let's try that in G minor. 1 minor, 5 going to the 4. A minor. 1 minor, 5 of the 4 going to the 4. Just a really nice movement. Hidden chords. On bars 5 and 6, we've got a nice little dance going between the hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's just like this. This is a nice little thing. I used to practice playing like you could take like you could even take one note like a C and a C and just maybe add a voicing. Just to get used to your hands used to that, kind of one of these things. So again, 2, 3, 4. And he's just doing this little voicing. Bill liked to use this a lot. It's just a great little simple cluster with a third. Really nice for minor. You could use it for major, for sus, but especially for minor because you get this 9 rubbing with the flat 3 and the 5. So that's just a nice sound. He used that a lot, and then when he goes right to the shell voicing here. You can play simple in the left hand too. 2, 3, 4. And then on bar 7, we got this really nice little block chord moment. So he's got F major, but then he adds the block chords like the saxophone vibe. This is a nice thing you could take around the keys. Just get used to that sound. So rather than learning like a whole scale of block chord, just take this little chunk. Major 7 to major 6. You can make it minor. F minor major 7 to minor 6, just as a variation. Because there's tonic minor and there's tonic major. That's a great one. Then in bar 8, he's got this, the original melody's kind of, but then he does this, it's a whole tone scale. Whole tone. He's just giving a little block chord, and then he adds this little funky shell thing in the left hand. So that tells me I could break up shells. You know, if I'm going a 2, 5, 1 in C major, let's say. You know, how about? You could break it up. That's just so cool because it's got this kind of, I guess you could say this is a drop 2 voicing almost, but then there's the shell. Then we get to bar 9 where he has this great movement. Really what this is, if we did this in 4-way close, but we do it in drop 2, so this is a real nice example of creating a little movement on the tonic. You've got the 2 and the 1 in the melody, and then the major 7 slides down to the 6. really what he's doing is this 7, 6, and then he just passes chromatically with on the flat 7. What's great about this is a tonic minor chord, D minor. Well, if we think about melodic minor, we could take this. This could work over other voicings. This could work over G13 sharp 11 or just G13. It could work over C sharp altered dominant. These things work nice. D minor, you know, it could be B half diminished. In melodic minor harmony, just real quick aside, whatever voicing you play for the 2 chord of a 2-5-1, you can go up a minor third, it'll give you the 5, and a major third, it'll give you the tonic. A little aside there. And you could even make a little exercise maybe to practice this in the context. How about something like, how about... So I just took this and just made a little exercise, kind of doing the Barry Harris 6 diminished scale. Whoop. Could take that around maybe. One more time. Get that smoother. There we go. One more time. At the end of the 9th bar, he adds another secondary dominant, a 5 to take us to the 4 minor. It adds movement. So rather than just minor, 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 he gives us that little bit of push into the 4 chord. Dominant adds so much. And then what he does this nice little, he breaks it up. Drop 2. That's a drop 2 on a dominant 7 flat 9. Third, 7 flat 9, 5. It's a diminished structure. I'd practice that through the keys. Root 3rd in the left hand, 7 flat 9, 5. All these things, they start adding up. These little bits add up to things that you'll have in your playing. And then he breaks it up nicely. And then this next bar, bar 10, he's kind of taking a variation of the previous measure when he did that drop 2. Well, the melody does that here over the G minor. So he's going on the bottom, the outer notes, and then he's filling it in with notes of the chord. Bill did this all the time. Tension, release. It creates tension and release. And then here, Scott Faro's playing an E in the bass. So this is kind of just an E augmented dominant. On the lead sheet, a lot of times, you'll see a half diminished chord. But he makes it dominant. He does this throughout the tune. He adds a little funkiness. And this showed me that in a minor tune, on the 2 and the 5 chord, the 2 chord can also be an altered dominant. It doesn't have to be half diminished all the time. So instead of half diminished, augmented dominant. Augmented dominant, yeah, okay. So the whole measure here, and then this last bar we have, so really what this is the A7, and then we resolve to the D minor. But on that last bar, bar 12, again, this is another drop 2 diminished structure. Third, 7 flat 9, 5. whenever you have a dominant 7, flat 9, so there's A7. If I just move this up, I get the flat 9. It gives me a diminished chord. A diminished chord a half step above the root gives us a dominant 7, flat 9. So now to create movement, you can play adjacent diminished chords. So I did, there's G diminished, A flat diminished, B flat diminished. I said C sharp because it's in drop 2, so this can go down the octave, and now we have, and then we resolve on bar 13 to this D minor 6, 9. It's just a spread voicing, 3, 6, 9, 5. Listen to that tension and release. There's your dominant 7, flat 9. And then we add this D diminished, or A flat, B, D, or F diminished, whatever, it's the same group. You could almost argue that this is E7 over A. But you keep A in the bass, you get that tension. The other thing that's cool that he does this a lot. He'll play offbeats in the right hand. In the left hand, 1, 2, 3. It's just playing downbeats. That's just a funky thing you could do between the hands. You could take anything and work on that. Maybe I'll go. Just get used to that. You can get used to that dance between the hands. Quick note about bar 13. You got this D minor 6, 9 spread voicing. Well, you could work on some other voicings from this. You could get a major 6, 9. Now take that through the keys. Right? Minor 6, 9, the original one, through the keys. You know, taking these structures around, you're just building up a voicing vocabulary. Maybe I could take the 6 and make it dominant. Now I got like a dominant 9 voicing. And you're getting your hands used to playing spread voicings. So on bar 14, sometimes you'll hear someone play a G13, sharp 11. I admit I don't remember what the original chord is. Maybe it's B half diminished. I don't know, but he does another augmented dominant, which just adds some more funkiness to it. And then he's doing dominant, just shell voicings rather than minor, half diminished to dominant. He gives it funkiness with these dominants. Okay, we're about to do the second half of the form. I just want to pause and just mention the overall feeling here. What you're going to see now is a beautiful display of arranging and compositional development. I didn't know Bill. I didn't know what he was thinking. I don't know how much of this was planned and how much of it wasn't, but it feels planned because Bill did study composition. And what you're going to see here is a beautiful theme and variation of what he just did. He's adding to what he did in the first part. He's making things a little more complicated, and it's just a great sense of development. So it's a good reminder to try to think of things compositionally, even when you're improvising. Because remember, improvisation is really just sped up composition. So it's a good reminder to think of things compositionally. All right, here we go. So what's happening here at letter C? Well, he's taking the melodic minor scale for this G half diminished, G melodic minor,
can give us E half diminished. And this language was pretty new at this point in the late 50s, early 60s. This was kind of a new way of thinking of playing, even a little before. But so he's just taking triads and just playing up the melodic minor scale. And then he gets to this E flat. Now A altered dominant is from the B flat melodic minor scale. So he just does this cool little, and then he does a little chromatic sidestep. And then he just does this kind of flat 2 minor, flat 2 minor, just over the D. Just a cool sound. I mean, that's probably my favorite part of this, and this might be the most iconic part of this melody. And it's cool having that E flat major. It gives it kind of it's kind of an exotic, otherworldly, you know, like flamenco. This was starting to make its way into things. I mean, just earlier the year that, you know, a couple years prior, they had done flamenco sketches. So this is just a cool, exotic sound. Again, bar 20, he sets up the next bar with a G minor. Now, in bar 5, Bill did this. Real sparse. Bar 21 now, he does a block chord. So this is nice because now he's thickening it up, and then he adds a passing chord, a half step. He goes G minor 7 up to A flat back down. You could also argue that he might think of it as D flat. The bass is a little obscured, so it's hard to know, but it's some sort of passing chord of either A flat minor 7 or D flat sus. And he does this nice, that's some great movement over the C7. He's got the third, he moves the third, but he keeps the fourth, creates tension, and then he resolves it. And look at that, it becomes that same voicing structure of this dominant with a flat 9. Drop 2. And then just this is a nice little, just thick, another drop 2. Some people call this drop 2 and 4, but he's doubling the 4. The fourth note, the C, which is the fifth. Sorry. And then another variation of bar 7. Before he went, this one he went. And then on bar 24, it's another variation. The right hand, he goes. The left hand just adds that funkiness between the hands. Letter D now, we're back to same thing. This might be a mistake. Now what's nice here, on bar 10, he went. Now he echoes what we just did. So he's just doing over G minor 7.
basically the same thing as bar 11. And then we got this ending. He anticipates the D minor this time. So a couple things here. Same exact thing he played before, but now he's just anticipating it. That's a nice little dance between the hands. You know, that's a nice thing to do. This is coming, that last little, well, let's go back. We've got, right here, instead of playing E half diminished, he's playing E7 flat 9 flat 13 on that 2 chord. And then, again, he's outlining this diminished structure. C sharp, B flat, E, G. And this really is coming from the 6th diminished scale. And he's just going. All these little things create all this movement. The last thing I just want to show, it's not in the melody, but this taught me something about when both comping with a group and improvising. It almost doesn't even matter if the rhythm section doesn't do it with you. If you notice on the last bar here, I put the double bar after the melody statement, but there's 2 more bars of the form because it's 32 bars. If I were improvising over this, just starting at 29, you can do a chromatic 2/5 above the E minor E half diminished going back. You can do a chromatic 2/5, F minor 7 to B flat, D minor. Takes you back nice. I learned that from this recording. That was a lot. Man, I hope you got something out of this. This was really fun for me to put together. Bill is so inspiring. You know, I move away from him sometimes just because there's so much music, but every time I come back to him, especially these early records, I don't know, I feel like a musical grounding that happens. There's something about the way these albums sound, the way that the band played together, and just Bill's incredible inventiveness with harmony and rhythm and melody. It's a really beautiful gift that he was in the world, isn't it? Just incredible. So I hope this helped maybe open up some stuff for you, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you in the next video. Happy practicing.